Good afternoon to all of my listeners on TJ Speaks. This is going to be a quick show, but this is a necessary show. First of all, I am going to sing you guys a little song. Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to town. Joe Biden is Santa Claus to the migrants. That's the opening of today's show. Because every time, guys, I look at Joe Biden on TV, he is gifting these illegal migrants with more and more free money and free gifts. And guess what, guys? We, the black community, have to pay for it. The American community has to pay for it. And so we have to talk about this. We have to talk about this. All right, let's start. Now, a lot of stuff has been going on recent times. We have, as a member of the ADOS community, we have been through a hell of a lot. But nothing has been, well, I wouldn't say nothing, but one of the most recent burdens that we're facing right now, especially as a resident of New York City, is the 10 million illegal migrants dumped, mostly in black communities. This, guys, this, guys, is the breaking point. Okay? The audacity of mostly white immigrants. I would call them white migrants because they look white. Majority of the migrants look white. Some of them look like slightly less white than others, but they all identify themselves as white. Okay? Now, these migrants are allowed to come in and break American federal laws. And this is nothing by accident, guys. This is nothing by accident. We're looking at right now in real time some serious um movement, a serious agenda, a serious process, okay, when it comes to breaking these laws. Um let's get into this. All right, excuse me if I'm a little distracted because I'm just so upset right now. I had to come on today's air a little early because I have other things to do. Okay, so here we go. 10 million illegal migrants dumped into the black community. And right now, as of today or yesterday, we have New York City Mayor Adams vowing to cut 15% of the services that the citizens of New York um, are receiving. And I find that impeachable. I find that, taking or forcing your citizens to pay for people that break the federal law is impeachable. These people are expected to be financed by the American citizens. And in New York City, we have the largest black population. One of the, if not the largest black population, one of the largest black populations in America. These people, this is a globalist agenda designed to undermine the strides and the progress that the American descendants of slaves have made in America. And there's a particular interest that the descendants of slaves need to pay attention to. The Democrat Party majority and a lot of rhinos sit by idly and allow the Democrats to openly and frankly break the federal laws. They have been very upset at the fact that Lincoln, number one, Lincoln freed the slaves. Number two, Congress wrote the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment, which gave the descendants of the freed slaves, the freedmen, and their descendants U.S. citizenship. And then we won in 1965 the Civil Rights Act after the overturning in the Supreme Court of Jim Crow laws, which states that America is not allowed to violate the constitutional rights of its citizens. And now today we find that America is doing just that. If anyone connects the dots with this whole migrant situation, is that once again, and this is how you know this is racist, once again, American government, the U.S. government, is making policies and making decisions and taking action against the citizens. Okay, particularly they're targeting the black community, black citizens of America. Once again, they are breaking federal law in order to do this, which is exactly related to breaking the federal law of the Equal Protection Act when they wrote and enacted Jim Crow laws. The same thing is happening all over again. And the audacity of the so-called migrants to come here from another nation and impose themselves onto another group of people. These people are racist, in my opinion. These migrants that come here expect black looking people to, number one, be beneath them, and number two, pay for them. That is an audacity of another human being to impose their burdens, to impose their debt, to disregard your needs for their own. And they all allowed to lie because they look in the image of whites. And if you notice in New York City, they discriminate between the migrants. The black migrants probably are thrown on the floor somewhere. The white looking migrants that speak Spanish, because Spanish is a language, it has nothing to do with race. The white migrants that speak Spanish are allowed to live in 5-star hotels, get free living, welfare on top of work. Then they try to gaslight us and tell us, oh, if they could just get work permits. Why are these people allowed to break the federal law when you're not allowed to break the federal law? No one's allowed to break the federal law except for this convenient group of people, this targeted demographic. There's over 8 billion people in the world. But it's a specific targeted demographic that America wants to be in this country on the ground to sabotage. The true target is the black community. 10 million people is almost, and their people that came before them, is almost the equivalent of the entire black race in America. There's only 40 million black people in America. 40 million of all different ethnicities. There's only 40 million black people in America. But yet they're allowing 10 million people from a particular demographic, South America, which is mostly mixed race white people, allowed to break the federal law and dump them callously in our neighborhood. And I'm, for one, as a member of the descendant of slaves, I'm not standing for it, and you shouldn't either. We have to protect our citizenship because that's all we got. Citizenship is all that we got. The descendants of slaves do not have reparations. We do not have wealth. All we have is our citizenship and our protection. And this notion that all of a sudden, regardless of citizenship, wait a minute, this regardless of citizenship notion that they are doing is completely racist. Why is it? It doesn't make any sense why the U.S. government will violate their very own federal laws. The U.S. president is breaking the federal law. And it is his job. And he is required by law to protect the federal laws. But right now in America, the battle is on for our freedom and our civil rights and our citizenship. The battle is on. They are directly attacking the black community, in my opinion. And they don't care about the white community, poor white community casualties. They have no concern for the poor white communities. This is a direct attack because the descendants of slaves is no longer towing the line to be their dependable voter base. Anytime we have to wake up and pay attention, anytime the U.S. president is invading his own country with foreign nationals, is a red flag. An operation is underway, and an operation that conveniently hurts the black communities. The more economic suppression of the black communities, more higher taxes for the blacks. The blacks are expected, and they give the messengers are all black mayors and black town leaders to tell the other black people that, hey, you have to live with less and do more with less because we decided to break the federal laws. We decided these people are way more important than you. And in all truth speaking, these migrants ain't no more special than any other migrant that came here legally or any other person in the world. Technically, we are all immigrants. If we once we leave our home country, once I leave this country in America and I take my passport and go over to Jamaica, I'm a Jamaican immigrant. So that word immigrant doesn't mean a damn thing. Any and everybody can be an immigrant at their choosing. Once you leave your home country and decide to travel for business or whatever to another nation, you are now an immigrant. But that does not give you a right to break the law and to impose your burdens and your debt onto other people. And to sit there, and they callously sit there without government, without president. President Joe Biden callously sits there, and they look at him, and he looks at them, and he plays Santa Claus with our money and our resources. That is why this, regardless of citizenship, is racist. We, the American people, are paying Joe Biden to protect our country and our citizenship. And he's deciding because he don't like the color of the citizens. He doesn't approve of our race. That he's decided, hey, I'm just going to ignore the federal laws. And I'm going to dump over 10 million illegal migrants and then they want to give them work visas. Automatic work visa. That's a direct threat to the descendants of slaves and the poor white American citizens and all the other citizens that exist in America. To allow these people to break federal law and to get a work permit as if they're going to get off of welfare. Giving them migrants work permits is not going to get them off of welfare. Okay, I want everyone to sit on that for a while. Okay? Giving the migrants a work permit in America, allowing them to break laws, allowing them to stay breaking the law, is not going to get them off of welfare. They're taking the jobs of the poorest of the poor people of America, and most people just sitting by think it's okay. But this is why they do this. The longer you sit by, the more you vote for these people. I'm not saying go in the streets and do anything crazy. I'm saying the more you support these people and you give them a vote, you give them a method to stay in office, they are undermining your whole existence. You look ridiculous voting for people that's undermining your existence, your health, your happiness, your wealth, your family. They don't care what these people do to you. Many of these migrants are racist, like I said in the beginning. In their country, they do not treat ADOS or black people too kindly. Many of them walk past our neighborhoods in our community, and they're calculating how to get you out of your home. These migrants are looking for a home. And you know whose home they're targeting? The descendants of slaves. They're targeting our homes. And they're looking, saying, hey, how can I get the U.S. government to help me get them out of that apartment, to help me get them out of that home? That's what's going on. These people are not nice people. These people, look at how they treat their home country. There's a lot of work to be done in their home country. If you wanted to work so bad, you would do it in your home country. There's a lot of roads to be built. There's a lot of homes to be built. There's a lot of infrastructure to be worked on. The sewer, the pipes, the water, everything. Electricity. They are living in darkness in their countries. And it's not because there's a lack of work. There's a lack of will. And there's a desire to take what their neighbors have. And it's up to the American people, particularly the descendants of slaves, of stop supporting the party that is undermining your entire existence. This is a movement that's happening right now. The U.S. government is taking action to affect our children 20, 30 years from now. This open breaking of federal laws by the U.S. president should be deeply concerning to every American citizen. Every American citizen should be deeply concerned that the president of their own country is invading their country with foreign nationals and breaking the federal law in broad daylight. With friends like our president, Joe Biden, we don't need no enemies. Vladimir Putin can't do nothing to us. He can't do no more damage than what Joe Biden is doing to the American citizens, attacking his own citizens right as we speak. This is a direct action, a direct attack on American people. And these people are walking through these streets in New York City. They are cheesing. They are happy because they know our government, American government, is betraying us and backstabbing us. And like I said, they have no more greater need than any other person around the world. But this is a targeted demographic. A demographic that the political parties decided is the more preferred group of people. They prefer these groups of people over the descendants of slaves. And any country that rather contends with their preferred group of people versus the voters and versus the citizens of that nation, this is a very dangerous time politically. The time in America where the citizens don't have any more power over their daily lives. The citizens are their whole existence, their rights are being erased. Every citizen rights are being erased. Constitutional rights are being erased by politicians that's deciding I don't have to listen to the voters. All I have to do is replace them. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. That's that's it for today. There is a immediate political benefit to these politicians uh, pushing in or allowing all of these migrants to enter the nation. There's an immediate benefit. And that benefit is you have the immediate benefit of the increased population. You count them illegally on a census, you get more house seats. Then you can manipulate the voters, the voter electorate, to vote for you or import your own people. Instead of having to contend with the voters and the citizens of that city and town, they don't have to listen to you. They can simply replace you and get people and favors in here. You wash my hand, I let you break the law, you vote me back in, you keep me in office. And anytime the voters are not happy, they just flood our communities with more voters so they can stay in power. This is a power grab. All right, guys, have a great day. Peace.